Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Checking in on Twitter, GoPro X, and CHK daily weekly time frame. So the Twitter bulls are trying to keep up the momentum they have now that our low of this pullback is established at this point of 1783. High of the bounce was 1872. Pulled back and formed a higher low at 1808. Now the bulls tomorrow need to break through 1872. End this week with some solid momentum and be looking up at 1890 resistance from here. This is a bull flag on the weekly time frame. A bullish candlestick last week. We're confirming it this week with some follow through. Exponential supports are holding and looking for continuation to continue this bull move after some nice healthy consolidation following the initial leg to the upside. So ideal day tomorrow for the bulls, break 1872, see some follow through, and if we were to break 1808 to the downside, that would be a potential red flag in the short term for the bulls. GoPro on the daily time frame broke a lot of the key support levels that I pointed out yesterday, and the bulls bought that dip, bullish reversal hammer, and confirmed it, but I am anticipating a lower high to form here. So right now we're rejecting from the daily middle Bollinger Band of 847. The 50-day moving average is 859. So looking for a lower high here to be established. I do believe it's a nice bearish entry. And again, all of this is occurring with the market the strongest it has ever been. So if the market consolidates for any prolonged period of time, which hasn't happened in a long time, but if it would happen, if we would consolidate in SPY for, let's say, 2 or 3 days, GoPro would be heading right back to the all-time low, in my opinion. We took out yesterday all of our supports that have been established the past 8 weeks. More than that, the past 10 weeks. So the gap to fill to the downside is 737, and we dipped down to 802, and 802 is the lowest level that we have seen since this gap was formed. So we are starting to fill this gap to the downside. It's just a brief bounce. Considering that we saw 5 red days in a row before that bearish day yesterday, no surprise that we're seeing things cool off a little bit. The hourly RSI getting extended to the downside. So just seeing a short-term bounce, scouting a bearish entry. If the bulls cannot break 855 tomorrow, potentially that will be a bearish entry day. But just watching for, really for new all-time lows. And it will be a clear exit point, in my opinion, if we get this weekly middle Bollinger Band as support. Any bear would want to exit, anticipating a potential shorter-term trend change. But until that happens, the bears are in complete control of GoPro on the weekly time frame. X bounce played out, but we saw profit taking at the end of the day after a rejection from the upper Bollinger Band. Resistance was the high of this bounce at 2193. We got up to 2158, but the bulls could not hold strong, and it's because these Bollinger Bands need to level out and then ascend to create room to the upside. Our low is down at 1952. We can form a higher low by bouncing off of anything above that level. If we break 1952, it is a red flag in the short term, and that proves that the bears are still in control. We are rejecting from these weekly exponential resistances still. That's 2076. We rejected last week. We're rejecting this week again. So if we cannot get over these levels, it's a very weak bounce attempt, a potential bear flag on the weekly time frame, and it's all about 1952 in the short term. CHK bouncing off of just below $5 support, but we're staying in this descending triangle pattern where we have a horizontal base of support at $5 and lower highs as we see a tightening range. So a weak follow-through day today. The bears definitely have the upper hand, and we're much closer to a bear break than we are to a bull break. But you look at this weekly time frame, and we have a bounce off $5 4 weeks in a row, rejection from the 100 week, bounce off 5, rejection from the 100 week, bounce off of 5, and we'll see if we get a rejection from the 100 week sometime in the next 2 weeks. It will be down in the 570s, and bulls are trying to form a bullish reversal hammer here to end this week. Need a green day tomorrow to do so, but a close below $5 on the weekly time frame will be a clear bear signal that indicates another leg to the downside is coming, in my opinion. So we're close to a bear break. Bulls are doing everything they can to hold this support here at the end of the week, and we'll see if they can pull that off tomorrow. We'll check back in over the weekend. I appreciate you watching. Have a great rest of your night.